Namaste, my darlings. Welcome back to the mat for this third flow in the Moon Magic series. So today it is the big one. We are flowing to honor the full moon. Now, the full moon is most famous of all the moon phases. Obviously, it's the brightest one that we can see. So today we are going to kind of work with the full moon's power. So if you read the little summary, the full moon is a time to honor life. It's time to celebrate life. Time to harvest all the things that you attracted, you worked hard for, etc., etc. So today we're going to find a little bit of inner power. We're going to start to wake up and play with the solar plexus chakra. So the full moon is beautiful, it's big, it's bright, it's glowing because it reflects the rays of the sun. So today we are going to mix between the lunar phase or the lunar power, and the sun power. So playing around with the core, playing around with some back bends, and as always playing around with heart and hips. So you can grab any props that you might need to make your practice a little bit more supportive, maybe a bolster, maybe a strap, maybe some blocks, anything at all. Light yourself some candles, make your little space as witchy as possible, and when you're ready, I will meet you back here in just a second so we can get started. Okay, my darling, so to begin today, you're going to come to lie on the back, and I'm going to light some sage to cleanse the space for my practice, for your practice, for the practice of the collective coven. Now, if you have some incense or sage that you'd like to burn, you can do it with me now. If you haven't, doesn't matter. Come to lie on the back, and we will get started. I could have chosen to lie back in a little bit more of a graceful way, but that's okay. So beginning to light your sage, your Palo Santo, your candles, your incense, anything at all. But working together as a collective coven, sending this sacred space or this sacred smoke all the way from my mat to yours. You'll definitely need sage. Too naughty. Taking a moment to take some beautiful deep inhales. And some gorgeous slow exhales, beginning to bring yourself to the mat today. And maybe you've chosen to practice this on the night of the full moon, maybe you're in the glow of the full moon, or maybe you're practicing it just before or just after. That's okay. But coming to lie completely flat to the mat. And you can choose to flip those palms up towards the sky, starting to harness in the energy of the full moon, or perhaps if this full moon is kind of playing havoc with your emotions, you can flip those palms down into the earth. Just giving ourselves a few moments to come to the mat, so start evening out the breath, start quietening the mind, especially if you've come here a little bit anxious or overwhelmed. Remembering that the full moon does have a lot of power on our emotions, hence why we'll be working with the heart chakra today. So just staying here for 10 more breaths in through the nose and out through the nose, my darlings. Beautiful. Starting to feel a little bit more relaxed. Maybe starting to tune into the smells of the room, maybe the incense, the scented candles, or even the sage. Just relaxing here. 3 more inhales and 3 more exhales. Before We begin today's flow as a collective coven with a beautiful deep inhale, filling the lungs, filling the belly. And a slow exhale all the way out. On your next breath, we're going to sweep those arms all the way overhead. Give ourselves a delicious full body stretch here. Pointing those fingers, pointing those toes. Before we bend the arms at the elbows and come to our cactus arms, and we begin to wake up the core by hugging the knees nice and close. And maybe taking a gentle rock from side to side. So starting to press that lower spine to the mat, starting to wake up and activate that solar plexus chakra. Beautiful, keeping this core engaged, we inhale. On your exhale, allow those knees fall over to the right hand side. Take your gaze left, aim to keep this left elbow and shoulder to the mat. Inhale, engage the core, bring these knees back to center. Exhale, switch this twist. Beautiful, one more time, either side. We inhale, knees come to the center. Exhale, allow them to fall over to the right hand side, gaze comes to the left. One more time, we inhale, knees move through center. Exhale, switch the twist, beautiful. Starting to find a little bit more space in the spine. Inhale, knees come to the center. This time, we're going to wrap our arms around them, lift the shoulders, lift the head, giving ourselves a really gorgeous, nourishing, healing hug here. Taking a moment to be proud of ourselves for stepping onto the mat today, for taking time to take care of you and to connect your soul with Mother Moon. Beautiful. When you're ready, we extend the legs to the sky, take a few rocks, moving forwards, moving backwards. Beautiful. Before we bring ourselves in to a seated position. Now, depending on how your practice is feeling, you can stay with those legs crossed, or maybe you follow me and bring them to butterfly legs. Bottom of the feet come to, God, this mat is so squeaky. Bottom of the feet come to touch, knees fall open wide. Now, you can use blocks to support you here, but we're just going to close the eyes wherever we've chosen to be. Maybe with the legs crossed, maybe in butterfly legs. Find length through the crown of the head. Feeling our sit bones connect with the earth beneath us. Sitting tall, sitting proud here. Crown chakra facing towards the moon. And as I said today, we're going to be playing with the solar plexus chakra. So we're going to start to tune in to our core, find that fire within. It's a time to celebrate life. It's a time to celebrate everything that you've worked hard for, or everything that you've brought in through the power of manifestation and intention setting. So from here, my darlings, let's start to find a bit of space in the spine. We inhale, float those arms all the way overhead. Exhale, let's take a twist over to the left hand side. Right hand, left knee. Yes, inhale, float the arms overhead. Exhale, take this twist over to the right hand side. Beautiful. Inhale, move back to the center. This time, we're going to float the left hand by our side. Sweep the right arm up and overhead. Maybe you keep those legs in butterfly legs, or you can keep them cross-legged, whatever suits you. Remember, always working with the body, never against it. But you can start to wake up this core by not putting all your weight into the hand. Move onto those fingertips. Bend the elbow, holding here for 5, for 4, 3, 2. Beautiful, and 1. We float right hand to the mat beside us, not coming onto the palm. Move on to the fingertips, sweep the left arm up and overhead, holding 5, 4, 3, 2, beautiful, and 1. From here, we bring the knees to touch. Let's take our twist one more time. We wrap the right arm around those knees, sweep the left arm behind us. Keep that spine lovely and long. Inhale. Exhale, move back to the center, left arm wraps around those knees, and let's take a twist over to the right hand side. Beautiful, coming back to the center, and we're going to find our way into our tabletop position. So we're going to stack those hip bones just above the knees, but we're not going to take our cat-cow in our regular stance, so on our hands. We're actually going to take it onto the forearm, so starting to wake up the shoulders. On your inhale, we drop the chest, take the gaze as high as it feels comfortable. On your exhale, curve the spine, bring the ears between the triceps. Beautiful. Taking this now a few more times. So inhaling, drop the chest, gaze forwards. And then exhale, curve into those shoulders. Ears come between the triceps. Really starting to awaken the shoulders. Starting to find a bit of movement here, but also starting to feel a little bit of warmth in those arms, working on that upper body. Yes. Let's say take it 3 more times. Inhale to gaze forwards. Exhale to curve. Beautiful. Now this time that you go to curve the shoulders, ears come between the triceps. You can stay here pushing into the shoulders, or maybe you follow me by tucking the toes under and lifting into a little modified dolphin pose here. So holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knees down, untuck the toes, and come to sit in the hero's pose. Beginning to take a few little rocks off those shoulders. So rolling them in one direction, rolling them in another. Beautiful. Maybe making a little fist here. Begin to take some circles, rolling them one direction, rolling them another. So although we're looking to find, though we're looking to find some power within the body today to kind of make good use of this full moon, to bring it in to our sacred space, to use it to create that fire within, it's also important to take care of the body. So remember this when we're working with intentions and we're working with our dreams. We never want to burn out. We want to keep that fin going. We want to keep that passion, that inspiration within us, but we don't want to get to the point that we end up hurting ourselves. We end up becoming exhausted, etc., etc. So we are going to come between a yin and a yang flow, so holding some deep poses and then working through a bit of a fiery flow. It's going to be really delicious, my darlings. So from here in your hero's pose, why are you being so nice to me? We're going to find our way first to tabletop, so send the hands forward, and then we tuck the toes under, lift the hip bones to the sky, down dog. Now you can choose to come straight away to stillness in down dog, or you can begin to pedal out those legs. But starting to become a little bit in tune with how your body is feeling, and all the way from the crown of the head to the tops of the toes. Beautiful, taking any movement that feels good. And then from this down dog, let's add a little bit of a twist. We're going to walk the feet a bit wider than hips width apart. Shift our weight to our left hand. Right hand comes underneath the body to find the leg. Remembering that the lower you go to the ankle, the harder it gets. Holding 5, 4, 3, 2, And 1. Beautiful. Right hand comes to the mat. Take this twist to the other side. Beautiful. Holding 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Left hand comes to the mat, and we walk these big toes to touch. So we're going to work through some Surya Namaskara B movements to some sun salutations B. Working nice and slowly with me, we bring the big toes to touch. Inhale, we send the right leg nice and high to the sky. Exhale to step it between the thumbs. Now, whether you choose to come to high lunge or to warrior one is up to you. If you want to come to warrior one with me, we step that back foot off to the 45-degree angle. Hands come to sword. As we inhale, sweep them nice and high to the sky. Gaze up towards the thumbs. Exhale. Release the hands down. Step back to plank. Knees up, knees down. Take your vinyasa. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, bend the knees, tuck the toes. Down dog, straight away. We bring the big toes to touch. Inhale, left leg floats to the sky. Exhale, draw it to the chest, step between the thumbs. Maybe come into a high lunge. Maybe following me into warrior one. Square these hips off. Sword comes to the sky. We inhale. Exhale, frame the front foot. Step back to plank. Take your vinyasa. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, hip bones come high to the sky. Down dog. Beautiful. Giving yourself just a moment in your down dog. Before we gaze to the top of the mat, taking one big step, take a couple little ones. We bring the body forwards. Inhale, gaze forward to straighten the back. On your exhale, we bend the knees, sweep the arms all the way forwards. Find your way to chair pose. Sitting nice and low, hold 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful, hands come to the mat. Inhale, gaze forwards. Exhale, plant the hands down. Step back one leg, step back another. Take your vinyasa and meet back in down dog. Coming to rest in down dog for 5 breaths. So maybe you choose to drop the knees to a child's pose, or you can stay in down dog with me, whatever suits your practice. But tucking that last rib in, push the hip bones nice and high to the sky. We're going to work through 2 more rounds of this sun salutations B, also known as Surya Namaskara B. So holding it here, my darlings, for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We bring the big toes to touch. Inhale, right leg floats nice and high to the sky. Exhale, draw the knee to the chest, step between the thumbs. Find your way, high lunge or warrior one. It's completely up to you. Inhale, we gaze high. Exhale, we release the hands down, step to plank. You can skip a vinyasa, you can take it knees down. But finding your movement and making your way, as always, back to down dog. Ooh, it's fiery. Yes, bring the toes to touch. Inhale, left leg nice and high to the sky. Exhale, step between the hands. Find your way, warrior one or to high lunge. Inhale, hands come high. Exhale, frame the front foot. Step to plank, skip a vinyasa, take a vinyasa, but meet back in down dog. Beautiful, start to bring that heat. This time we gaze between the thumbs, take a jump, a step, a little tiptoe forwards. We inhale, gaze forward to straighten the back. Exhale, bend the knees, sit low, come to chair pose. Holding your chair pose for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, yes, for 1, hands come to the mat. Inhale, gaze forwards. Exhale, plant the hands down. Step back, jump back to plank. Take a vinyasa or skip, but meeting back in down dog. Hip bones come high to the sky. 5 breaths here. Maybe you're doing this flow, like I said, in the glow of the full moon. Maybe you've done a couple of days before, a couple of days after, that's okay. Remember, we're meeting here as a collective coven. So connect the energies, connect through the protection, through the magical inspiration, basking in the glow of ourselves and in the glow of this lunar face. As we hold for 3, for 2, for 1, big toes come to touch. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, step between the thumbs. High lunge or warrior 1 is completely up to you. But we inhale, sweep the hands nice and high to the sky. Exhale to frame the front foot. Step to plank. Meet back in down dog when you've taken your movement. Beautiful. Once we've met back in down dog, we bring the big toes to touch. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, step between the hands. Warrior 1 or high lunge. It doesn't matter, find your pose. Inhale. Exhale, frame the front foot. Step to plank, take your movement. Beautiful. Harness your power. Inhale. Upward dog, exhale, down dog. Final chair pose, gaze between the thumbs. Walking, stepping, floating your way forwards. Inhale, we gaze forward to straighten the back. Exhale, bend the knees, sit low. Adjust my leggings. Sit low to chair pose. Feel the fire in those glutes, in the quads. Hold 5. Hold 4. 3. 2 and 1, forward fold. Inhale to gaze forwards. Exhale, step back, jump back to plank. And we take our vinyasa. Inhale, upward dog. This time on exhale, bring the big toes to touch. Take the knees wide. Settle back to child's pose. So just letting those arms rest heavy. Maybe awakening that third eye with a little rock from side to side, massaging the space between the eyebrows. Remember, we're playing with yin and yang poses. Starting to find that fire in the solar plexus, but starting to open our heart, connecting with the soul, with the spiritual side of this yoga practice, with our lunar worship. So before we go any further with the kind of empowering, spicy part of this yoga flow, together we're going to inhale through the nose. On your exhale, let's walk the hands over to the left hand side of the mat. Right hand stays where it is. We slide the left arm all the way behind us. If we're going to grab something from the back of the mat. Holding here, 2 breaths. Beautiful. Slide left hand to meet the right. We inhale to walk through center. Exhale, take it over to the right hand side. Left hand stays where it is. We slide the right arm behind us. Beautiful. We bring the hands back together, walk through center, press into the hands to first roll to a tabletop, and then we drop onto those forearms. Let's take some forearms, cat's cow. So inhale, drop the chest gaze forwards. Exhale to curve the spine, bring the ears between the triceps. Taking this a few more times. Beautiful. Without rushing. The next time we go to curve our spine, we're really going to tuck that chin in, start to bring the belly button in and up those ribs. You can stay in your tabletop variation of the dolphin pose, or you tuck the toes under, lift the hip bones to the sky, holding 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knees down, press the hands to the mat, come first to tabletop, and then let's find our way to our pigeon pose hold. We're going to slide the right knee to the right wrist and guide the foot over. We tuck the back toes under, slide the left leg back to give ourselves the hip space. Now you can work with a block or with a bolster depending how your practice feels, or you follow me by relaxing the body all the way down, remembering that if you feel any sharp sensations, come out of this pose. But we're going to hold it here just for 10 breaths. Open up that root chakra, connect with the sacral chakra. Almost as if we're bowing to Mother Moon here, embracing her beautiful powers, the energy that she's lending us. Five more breaths, my darlings. You've got it. Beautiful. Nice and gently on your next inhale, we press the hands to mat, lift the chest, move on to the fingertips, open up that heart chakra, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, on your one. We're making a really gorgeous transition by releasing the hands to the mat. We tuck the back toes under, and we're going to lift this back leg up. Start to put a little bit of weight onto this right leg. From here, take as much movement as you like, but we're going to slide the right leg out and float our way to our wild thing. Yes, open your heart, my darlings. Holding 3, 2, and 1. Flip to plank and take a vinyasa. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, come back to tabletop slide. Left knee to the left wrist, guide the foot over. We tuck the right toes under, slide it back, and we find our way to our chosen pigeon pose, remembering to modify how your body is feeling. But giving ourselves 10 breaths here. Starting to open up the hips, connect with those chakras. Beautiful yin pose, also known as sleeping swan in yin, which is actually a lot better sounding than pigeon pose, I realise. 10 breaths. Five more breaths, you've got it. Beautiful. When you're ready, on our next inhale, nice and gently, we press the hands into the mat, move to those fingertips, open up that heart, holding 5, 4, 3, beautiful, for 2, and for 1, press the hands to the mat, and we're going to make that transition to wild thing. So we tuck the right toes under, lift the leg up, make it as much movement as you like. We step the left leg behind the right, open up that heart, holding 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Find your way to plank, knees up, knees down, making your way through your vinyasa. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, tuck those toes. Hip bones come high to the sky. Maybe pedaling out those legs here, depending on how the hips are feeling. Before we walk the feet a bit wider than the hips width apart, shift your weight to your left hand. Right hand comes underneath the body. Find that twist, hold 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shift the weight to the right hand. Left hand floats underneath us. Come to the twist, holding 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Left hand comes back to the mat. This time we're going to bring the toes to touch. And we're going to work through some almost like core crunches, but called knee to nose pose. So when you're ready, we inhale to sweep the right leg to the sky. On your exhale, we're going to draw this knee to the chest. We're going to curve to the shoulders as if you want to kiss the knee here. Hold it here. Before we inhale, take it high. Beautiful. Exhale, drawing in. Second round. Yes, inhale, take it high. Final time. Third round. We draw it into the chest as if you're going to give that knee a kiss. And then we lift the gaze. Step the foot between the thumbs. Lower the back knee down. Inhale, we gently find our way to our low lunge, keeping this core engaged. We're going to keep this fire burning. We relax the left arm down by our side. And we gently begin to move to the left-hand side, right arm overhead, holding. For 3. For 2, you have got this. For 1, inhale, left hand comes to the sky. Exhale, right hand floats down by our side. Holding for 3, for 2, and for 1. Beautiful. We inhale back to low lunge. On your exhale, we're going to start to walk this front foot forward. If you've practiced me before, we're going to move to that half camel, and you know one of my favourite back bends. By gently extending that front leg, keep the toes to the mat, keep the hips squared to the sky. Left hand finds the left ankle. Right arm floats overhead. Half camel pose. Feeling so beautiful here. Find your glow for 3, for 2, for 1. Bend into the front knee, hands frame that front foot. Beautiful, almost like a little modified lizard pose here. When you're ready, we tuck the back toes under, and we're going to step this right foot just outside of the right hand. Step the left foot forward like we did in the last flow. Find your way to your Malasana pose. So adjusting my leggings again, sitting nice and low, using those elbows to keep the knees apart. Beautiful. It's an intense pose, so modifying as much as you like. Finding your breath. 2 more inhale, 2 more exhales. You have got it. Beautiful. Before the hands come to the mat, we gently lift the bum a little bit. Step back left leg, step back right. Shuffle the body through a vinyasa. Inhale, upward dog, my darlings. Exhale, bend the knees, tuck those toes. Down dog. So before we go to balance out the body, take this flow on the other side, I'd like you to just do a little check-in with yourself. Physical check-in, an emotional check-in. See how you're feeling. Seeing maybe if this full moon is bringing up emotions for you, or maybe if this flow so far has brought up emotions for you. Whatever they are, there's no right or wrong answer. Just acknowledge them here. Before we take a moment to be proud of ourselves for not only stepping onto the mat, but for getting out of bed this morning, for taking each day as it comes, for conquering life by just giving things a go. Thanking Mother Moon here for her nourishment, her healing, and her protection. When you're ready, we bring the big toes to touch. Let's take this knee to nose pose again. Inhale, left leg floats nice and high to the sky. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose, holding here. Before we take it back up the sky, 2 more rounds. Exhale, draw it to the chest, hug it up close. Yes, take it back to the sky. 1 more time. We hug this knee in nice and close. Before we squeeze it here, gaze between the thumbs, step all the way forwards. Lower the back knee down. On your inhale, arms overhead, back to low lunge. Let's take that gorgeous little movement, so opening up the obliques, finding that inner strength, that inner balance. We relax the right hand next to our side, gently lean over to the right hand side, holding 3, holding 2. For 1, we inhale, float both hands back to the sky. Exhale, this full moon is messing with my words, I swear. Left hand comes down by our side, find that side body stretch. Holding 3, holding 2, holding 1. We inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, let's shuffle that front foot forward, extending the leg here, keep the toes to the mat. And we are going to take the right hand to find that right ankle. Keep the hips up to the sky. Find that back bend. Gaze nice and high, holding 5, 4. Keep breathing. You've got it for 3, for 2, for 1. We bend into the front knee. Yes. Rolling through a low lunge to a forward fold here. When you're ready, we walk the left foot just outside the left hand. Tuck the back toes under, step to Malasana. God, these leggings. Sitting nice and low here. Bring in the hands to heart center, remembering that if Malasana is too much, then come to sit all the way down. Using this as a moment to calm the breath. Yes, you have got this. When you're ready, hands come to the mat. Let's gently lift the bum to the sky. Step back right leg, step back left. Take your vinyasa, knees up, knees down. Inhale to upward dog. This time on your exhale, we lower on to the forearms, come to Sphinx pose, pointing those toes to either corner of the mat. Now rolling back the shoulders here, open up that heart, finding length through the crown of the head. Now it's a strange pose to rest in, I understand. But use the kind of earth beneath you, the sensation of when your belly hits the mat with your exhales to try and ground yourself, to rebalance yourself. It's all very well and good connecting with the fire, connecting with the sun, but we also have to keep our feet on the ground and we have to find balance. So let's connect with the root chakra. Let's connect with the earth beneath us. Staying here. 5 more breaths. Remembering not to let the ears weigh down into the shoulders. Find length here. It's a strong pose, but balance out. Feeling the energy of this collective coven come together. You've got it. As we inhale, exhale, one hand sits on top of the other. We press into the palms, lift the elbows and relax the body down, giving the hips a little shuffle from side to side. Maybe bending the knees, roll those ankles in one direction. Roll them in another. Before we relax the body nice and flat, and we're going to take a few minutes just to connect with the breath. So simply lying here, So simply lying here, calming down the heart rate, balancing out the breath. Remembering what I said at the beginning about burning out, and it's the same with a practice that honours the full moon flow. Remembering what I said at the beginning about burnout. You've got to take care of the body, you've got to take care of the mind. Conquering our dreams, getting our heart's desires, all very well and good. But if we get to that point in our lives where we're too tired to enjoy all the things we've harvested, there's not really any point. Always taking time to rest. Taking 10 more breaths here. Really enjoy this. Let go. Three more breaths. Before together we inhale. And we exhale. Gently bringing the forehead to the mat, and we slide the hands next to the chest. Yes. Inhale to upward dog. Beautiful. Find that space. We exhale, bend the knees, meet back in our down dog. So just one mini little flow to go to activate the core before we come into our camel pose. One of my favorite back bends to really activate the chakras. And if you flowed me before on a full moon, you know I love to add it in there. So from here, we bring the big toes to touch. On your inhale, send that right leg nice and high to the sky. 3 rounds of knee to nose. We draw the knee in, give it a little kiss, and then we send it back up to the sky. Yes, inhale. Exhale, draw it in. Beautiful, take it back to the sky. You've got it, 1 more round. Beautiful, draw it all the way in, hug it up. Before we lift the gaze forward, step between the thumbs, and we're going to step this body off to our warrior 1. So left tippy toe, come off that 45-degree angle, bend into the knee to lift the body all the way up. Square these hips, whoops, to the top of the mat. Inhale, the hands come nice and sky first to our warrior 1. Before we extend the front leg, hands come to heart center, pyramid pose, beginning to forward fold here. Now straight away from our pyramid pose, keeping the legs engaged, connect with the earth beneath you. We're going to take the outside of the left hand to the outside of the right ankle. Sweep the right arm all the way to the sky, revolve triangle. Holding here for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Come back to pyramid pose. Maybe you're able to find the hands to the mat and forward fold a little bit deeper. When you're ready, we bend into the front knee. One final warrior one. Take your hands nice and high to the sky. Honor this full moon, my darlings. Inhale. Exhale, hands frame the front foot. Step to plank. And lower all the way through a vinyasa. Inhale, upward dog. Yes, final round. Exhale, hip bones come high to the sky. Beautiful. Let's bring the big toes to touch. On your inhale, we sweep the left leg nice and high to the sky. Let's take that knee to nose. Draw it all the way in. Give yourself a little kiss. And then send it back up to the sky. Yes, 2 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale, draw it all the way in. Inhale, send it high. Exhale, bring it all the way in, holding here. Before we lift the gaze, step between the thumbs and we find our way to our warrior one. Right toes off that 45-degree angle. Bend into the front knee and we lift the body nice and high to the sky. Square these hips to the top of the mat. Send those arms nice and high. Gaze at the thumbs. As we inhale, exhale, extend the front leg. Find your way to your pyramid pose, remembering to use any blocks that you need. And straight away from pyramid pose, outside of the right hand, outside of the left ankle. We inhale, pull the left arm nice and high. Come to revolved triangle. Whoop. Oh, it's not an easy pose. Holding here for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2. Beautiful. On the 1, come back to pyramid. Maybe the hands are able to reach the floor here. Forward folding for just a moment longer. Yes. Before we bend into the front knee, let's say goodbye to our warrior pose. Hands come to touch. Float them nice and high. Overhead, we inhale. Exhale, hands frame the front foot. Step to plank, final vinyasa. Lower all the way through. Inhale to upward dog, this time glancing back at one foot. Through center, we glance back at the other. Before bending the knees, say goodbye to your down dog here. Lift the hip bones high and begin to pedal out through the legs. Beautiful. Together we inhale. Exhale, lower the knees to the mat. And come into a hero's pose. Roll back the shoulders. Flip the palms to the sky and just come in to a little bit of like a mini meditation here. Just rest. Feel that breath, that fire, that burn in the belly, the heat on the skin, the glow of this full moon. Like I said, not only being so damn proud of yourself for coming to the mat today, like I am of you, but being proud of yourself for getting out of bed today, for taking each day as it comes, and just being so bloody epic. Now the final pose we're going to do today before we come to cool down is going to be a camel pose. So if camel pose is too much for you, you know you can work with a bridge pose, maybe a wheel pose if you have it. You can do the half camel again, anything that suits you and your body. finding your personal way to open up your heart chakra and honor Mother Moon. But if you're comfortable with your Camel pose, we're going to take it 3 times. So when you're ready, we lift the bum up and we tuck the toes under, keeping those hips stacked on top of the knees. You can have the hands resting behind the hips, or you might be able to find the ankles, pushing this chest out. Find your Camel pose, holding for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently lift the body out. Sit back into Hero's pose. Remembering we take a rest out of every Camel pose. It is a deep back bend. Now, if 1 round of Camel pose was enough for the body, then I really invite you to chill in your Hero's pose, come to Child's pose. If you're feeling all right, you want to go for a 2nd round, then we lift the body up, tuck those toes under, maybe find the ankles or the heels. Find your way to Camel pose, holding 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift the body up, find your way to Heroes. Oh, starting to feel emotional. Camel pose always makes me cry, so I'm so sorry if you see me start crying here in a moment. Too much. It's a beautiful pose to unblock that heart chakra, and especially when the Mother Moon and the full moon is at its peak, you do feel a lot of emotions rise up, and that's okay. That is okay. We come together as collective coven with compassion, with kindness, with love and understanding of what each of us go through. So my darlings, you can stay here, come to rest in Heroes, come to rest in Child's pose. If you'd like to follow me into the 3rd round, we're going to take it into the 3rd round. Now maybe you use the heels for support, or you can take the arms overhead. Now disclaimer, I actually can't count when I'm with the arms overhead, so I'm just not going to say anything. I'll tell you when we're going to come out of it, but remember to come out of it whenever you've had enough. Okay, I think I just jibber-jabbered on them, but we're going to keep going. So lifting this body all the way up, tuck the toes under. We find our way to the 3rd and final Camel pose, finding your variation of your Camel pose. Before coming out, this time relaxing the body down, find your way to Child's pose. Again, giving yourself a little self-love if any emotions are coming up. Staying in Child's pose, 5 more breaths just to even out the spine. And we're going to move straight from Child's pose to our cool down. So rolling the body up, slide the legs forward, maybe a little bit more gracefully than I did. And we relax back into the mat, hug these knees close. Not making any movement here, just hugging them close. Protected and safe in the sacred space of your mat. And from here, we're going to move to a happy baby pose. So maybe you take the hands underneath the knees, simply separate the legs here, pushing that lower spine into the mat. Or you can find the outside of the feet, roll back the shoulders and find your space. 5 more breaths. Really pushing that lower spine, evening out these back bends. Before together we inhale. Exhale, bring the feet first to touch, bring the knees to touch. And we're going to hug the left knee nice and close. Allow the right leg to relax. On your inhale, we lift the shoulders, lift the head, squeeze the knee. Exhale to relax the body down, and we guide the knee across the body into our spinal twist. Making those exhales longer than your inhales now. Inhale. The knee comes into the center, switch sides. We hug the right knee close. Extend the left leg here. On our inhale, we squeeze the knee, squeezing here. Exhale, relax the head down, take your spinal twist. Beautiful. Inhale, move the leg back to center. Extend the legs, take the arms overhead. A beautiful full body stretch here. Oh, nourishing, soulful, healing, delicious, all the good things before we make our way into the final pose, of Savasana. That's how excited my body is to relax here. So let's flip our palms down into the earth this time. Using this cool earth beneath us to rebalance, to reground after all the fire that we created, all the power that we harnessed from Mother Moon during this flow. Feeling the body relax and cool down. Mind, body and soul rebalanced, reset and restored. And if you'd like to stay here longer, as always, I invite you to do so. Sending my love and so much magic from my mat to yours. If you're ready to come out, then maybe you wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers, and bending the knees, we allow the body to find its way to one side of our mat. Keeping the head heavy, the eyes closed as we lift ourselves in to a comfortable seated position, rolling back the shoulders, finding length here. And with the eyes still closed, we're going to bring the palms to touch, starting to rub the palms together, create heat, create magic, finding the last little bit of energy from the full moon. before placing them over the eyes and blinking the eyes open to the palms of our hands. As a collective coven, we're going to close this circle today with one final breath in. And on your final breath out, bringing the hands together and bowing low with gratitude to ourselves, to others in this coven, from me to you, and giving our gratitude to Mother Moon for the power she lent us. So feeling so damn powerful after this full moon, being proud of ourselves for taking the time during this month to not only explore our yoga practice, but also to explore our spiritual practice, maybe our witchcraft practice. So, as you know, there's also a meditation involved in this full moon practice. Now, this meditation is going to be gorgeous. It is a 20-minute yoga nidra. So whereas in this flow, we found the power, we awoke this solar plexus, in the yoga nidra, we are going to go into a yogic state of sleep. So finding complete stillness and starting to embrace what stillness means to us, starting to embrace the kind of peaceful side of the full moon. As always, if you have any questions, you're welcome to message me at the Yogi Witch on Instagram or over on the page at Bethany or Bethany@theyogywitch.com. Just message me. But thanking you so much for joining me for this full moon flow, my darlings, and I look forward to seeing you next week as we flow with the final practice, the third quarter. Sending love and healing as always. Blessed be.